Welcome to part two of our four-part series of the San Antonio missions. Again, I want to preface this that I only studied Spanish for 2 years in high school and my pronunciation might be off. So I apologize if I mispronounce anything. The following information is from the National Parks Service, also called the Mission San Jose y San Miguel de Aguayo. It is known as the Queen of the Missions. This is the largest of the missions in San Antonio and was almost fully restored to its original design in the 1930s by the WPA, or the Works Project Administration. Spanish missions were not churches, but communities with the church as the focus. Mission San Jose captures a traditional moment in history frozen in time. You can explore native family quarters, soldiers' quarters, the stone arches of what remains of the historic convento, the granary, grist mill, and more. In 1719, Father Margil de Jesus, a seasoned Franciscan missionary, was at Mission San Antonio de Valero, otherwise known as the Alamo, awaiting the opportunity to reestablish missions in East Texas. Before too long, he saw a need for another mission in the San Antonio River Valley. He wrote the Marqués de Aguayo, then governor of the province of Coahuila and Texas, requesting permission to establish a second mission south of San Antonio de Valero. He felt he was prepared to establish this mission at once, and he had necessary church goods with him, even a statue of St. Joseph. The Marqués agreed, and founding ceremonies took place on February 23, 1720. On this day, the writ of possession was signed for the mission. Leaders of 3 Indian bands that wanted to come into the mission were appointed governor, judge, and sheriff in the new community of San Jose y San Miguel de Aguayo. Father Margil entrusted the care of the project to Father Nunez and 2 soldiers. The building of the limestone church, with its extraordinary Spanish colonial Baroque architecture and statuary, began in 1768, the peak of the mission's development. At that time, there were 350 Indians residing in 84 two-room apartments. Based on Father Morphy's description of what he saw here when he visited in 1777, the Church of Mission San Jose came to be known as the Queen of the Missions. The mission's objective was to convert indigenous hunters and gatherers into Catholic, tax-paying subjects of the King of Spain. The native families struggled for survival in their quickly changing environment, led them to the missions. Everything changed for these neophytes. Diet, language, clothing, religion, culture, even their names. The neophytes' new roles and duties in the mission were very regimented. Everyone undertook religious instruction daily. Church bells called them to worship 3 times a day. Following sunrise mass, families returned to their quarters for con atole, mush, and charque, jerky. After breakfast, the men and boys worked in the bores, fields, and in their new trades of textile, tailor, carpenter, and blacksmith. They also worked as masons, weavers, acaguillas, irrigation ditch builders, and at the lime kilns. Some took charge of the livestock at the mission's ranch, El Atascoso, about 25 miles southwest of the mission. The women and girls prepared food, swept the dirt floors, carded wool, and fished in the irrigation ditch outside the walls, in addition to raising children. Everyone helped at harvest time in the farm fields. The bells rang out at noon, calling everyone back to church for prayers. The main meal of the day was lunch, perhaps a bowl of goat stew and fresh baked tortillas. The afternoon siesta followed the meal, and most activities subsided for several hours. Armed mission residents, however, continually kept guard outside the walls. After dinner, recreational time for singing, games, dances, storytelling, and drama filled the evening. The next workday began at sunrise to start the regimented routine all over again. On February 29, 1824, Mission San Jose ceased to be a mission. It was fully secularized that day when Father Diaz complied with Mexican government orders. He turned church property over to the mission Indians living here. After secularization, the mission was neglected. In the years following, Benedictines, Rampadorists, and Holy Cross Fathers ministered from the ruins. In 1931, the Franciscans returned and still live here today. The 104 years that San Jose operated as a mission, over 2,000 indigenous were baptized. Today, families that worship at Mission San Jose continue in the faith taught to the mission Indians. Many hearts and hands played part in preserving and restoring the Queen of the Missions. Today, the National Park Service preserves and protects the living cultural heritage, the stone structures, and irrigation systems that these indigenous mission residents built. This ensures that future generations visiting will see how the past has shaped the present. The colorful culture, art, food, celebrations, and architecture we enjoy in San Antonio today emerged from the blending of Spanish and indigenous traditions that took place here in the missions of San Antonio about 300 years ago. The rose window is known as the premier example of Spanish colonial ornamentation in the United States. Its sculpture and significance continue to be a mystery. Folklore credits Pedro Huizar, a carpenter and surveyor from Spain, with carving the famous window as a monument to his sweetheart, Rosa. Tragically, on her way from Spain to join him, Rosa was lost at sea. Pedro then completed the window as a declaration of enduring love. A less romantic but more likely theory is that the window was named after Saint Rose of Lima, the first saint in the New World. The beauty of the church at Mission San Jose has been recognized for centuries. Today, visitors enjoy the artistry that remains of this magnificent structure. In the past, the colorful frescoes and elaborate stone work also served as a functional purpose. Within the intricate stonework of the facade, the colonial artists placed symbols of Catholicism and Spanish culture. Some symbols have had meaning only to the artists or the indigenous inhabitants of the mission. Most, however, are rooted in the long traditions of the Christian faith. The Mission San Jose has a website where you can learn about their sacraments, ministries, their mass times, weekly bulletins, and you can also make a donation. The website and where to donate will be in the video description.